Hello everybody, and let's have a look at the last game between Wesley So and Magnus Carlsen of day 1, the finals. Wesley So with white pieces starts with e4. Magnus simply replaying with e5, knight to f3, and we see another Italian, but this time playing c5. Simple moves, knight to f6, immediately going for the center, captures, and now pushes his pawn. That's the pretty normal standards. And here you could grab it en passant, but you usually retreat your bishop. But he goes for b5. Knight to e4, captures the pawn, bishop retreats, which probably wasn't the best move also regarding the computer, but it doesn't matter that much yet. Castle, bishop to e3, protecting this pawn. If you ask like why didn't white capture, for example here, or black, for example here, then of course because it's double attack, so he had the castle. And now white brings his bishop out, as I said, pinning the knight, trying to kick it away. In fact, it works. Now white brings his queen to c2. That's a pretty common square for the queen, and we gotta be careful in the future for threats with the knight. And now Magnus trying to open up some discovered checks. That's why he moves his queen again. You should not move your queen twice, but any piece twice in a row, but he does it. Moves. And this game is pretty spectacular, as you will see soon enough. Comes back. Next knight comes into the game. Here you might think it's a winning pawn, like if you grab, but as you can see, like white can simply grab any other pawn, like this one, attacking the queen and winning the bishop. So that's not how the game worked. White coming back with his queen, taking this knight, taking the bishop, black keeping the bishop pair, but white has now an open line for its rook. We're getting closer and closer to where the action started, and here white finds the best move and continues pushing c4. He should have captured, but he retreated, which was not as good, the computer says. Comes back, queen to the center, and now this move here is pretty tricky, because usually you don't want to give up this pawn. Like now the king, look at the king is not safe at all. But you can also, if you for example use the rook, then you have like, you give a lot of tempi to the white side. So he took it, white pushed his pawns, queen back. Maybe this queen move wasn't the best move, maybe here would be better, but it's not such a huge mistake. And white bringing his rooks into the action, and so does black. Maybe black here should move his king soon enough, which after knight to h4, usually it's a square you should not place your knight, but here he has like huge potential and it can never be attacked. And so black now moves his king back to h8, a safer place. And as we mentioned, like the knight being just super potential. But also black's bishop, if you look at it now, it can never be attacked. Still white has a passed pawn here and a strong knight and like much more space. And so he used that space to create some weaknesses on the queen side. And so he does. And he finds this move, the computer suggested one, and black trying to push, just bring all his pieces against the center. White retreats with his king, brings it to a safer place, and black finds an even better place for his bishop. If here, for example, you think I win a pawn, capture, but if you do, then simply black captures this pawn, and it's not a huge mistake, but you had much bigger advantage before. And here, actually, Magnus finds this move. You might think, why should he grab this? Because if he does, he grabs it back and gets the knight and gets a better position, and as you can see, like, this pawn right here is hanging. And that's exactly what happened. White bring his rook there, now black sacrificing his piece. Not sacrificing, he wins the pawn back. But as you can see, this move was a huge blunder. They were about 0.9 for white, had an advantage, but now Wesley finds the winning move, +6. And this is the incredible move, trapping black's king, because now if you look, it's checkmate. How can you avoid this checkmate? Or by placing the rook there, or by placing the queen. But if you put a queen there, the black rook is hanging. If you put the rook there, it's simply checkmate here after 8 moves, as you can see. Black has to sacrifice his queen, because there is simply no square it could move. And so black, after a lot of thinking, plays h5, he plays check, checks again, and here he went back up, and Wesley found the move. Queen to c1, and the game was over. Black has to sacrifice his queen, but it's made soon enough. That's basically the end position of the game between Magnus and Wesley So.